Attitudes. They can change the altitude of your life. Now, what do I mean when I say altitude? You know, when you're on a plane, the plane doesn't fly so high it gets to outer space. But the plane doesn't fly so low that it can hit something. And I think too many Christians think as our role can be down here, we can be try to be down here with all the pleasure. We can ride through the pleasure, meaning we're going to have to ride through obstructions. We're going to have to ride through things that we feel pleases us but doesn't please God. Or on one hand, we could be flying on a high altitude, trying to please God with works but not grace, but not by His grace, which causes us to lose oxygen. Now, when a plane flies too high, the pilot loses oxygen, which I believe, for the Holy Spirit, it means you've lost the Holy Spirit touch of the Word. And while those that are down here in the very, very low altitude, they may still have oxygen, but a lot of them are going to suffer injuries. A lot of them are going to die. While those above, about a 2 above, they're going to suffer just as much as well. But then there are those Christians who fly at the right altitude. Not at the altitude that's too high or too low, but just right. Where there's oxygen, might be a little turbulence, but it's fine because they can fly through this zone. And in that zone, it's by grace through faith. And there, they can produce works. And being able to fly at an altitude, that's fine. And even though things may not make sense, sometimes there might be some passengers on the right altitude that might just jump out of a plane with a parachute. There might be some times where there may be accidents. But those planes that are at the right altitude, that suffer these things, they know what the right altitude is. They know what they should do. They know how they should manage and how they can fly through. Because, hey, at least when they're at takeoff, they know what they're doing. They know where to go. While so many Christians with their big private planes, they have no idea where they're going. They think the altitude, whatever altitude they choose, fits best, when really there's a specific way of flying in the right altitude, in the right coordination, and hey, you'll get into your destination just on time. While those that are flying too low or too high, it will take longer. And hey, many people will suffer for that. And God doesn't want to prolong. He doesn't even want that. He's not pleased by prolonging His will. But because of these differences in altitudes, unfortunately, there's been a lot of extensions made for the blessings, for the many things that could have come if we had just flown at the right altitude. I believe the Lord has sent me a word for this, because we as Christians shouldn't be so upbeat and think we're the best as those who fly in the high altitude. But we Christians shouldn't put ourselves so low as those who fly in the low altitude. But let us be those who fly at the right altitude. Let us be the Christians that know where we're going, that know what we're doing, and hey, know what the right altitude is. For that will give you the right attitude. Thank you, and God bless you.